Time to talk some shit with the J Squared Podcast. Here we go.
Yeah, we have our good friend George Ferreira joining us here today. Thank you for coming by, George. Thanks for the time. Before we just start bullshitting and fucking around, just most of the people that hear this are probably going to know you anyways, but some people might not. I know you obviously from playing cards. I think Jay knows you for the same reason, probably other reasons.
Yes, both poker players.
But you became a big part of my life for a couple other things too. Division Street Auto, you own that, and I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about that. You know, when it started, who started it, how it came to be in your well-deserving hands.
Yes, I basically stole it. No, my dad, I guess, started it back in
69.
Yeah, you know what? It's been 23 years. So I mean, what year was that? It was like 90. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it must be what, 95?
95. Yeah, that makes sense. 95.
Damn. So kids that were born in 95 are 23 now. Oh shit.
Yeah. My daughter was born in 94, so it was right after. Yeah, so it was must have been 95. That's about right.
So your dad came from Portugal, right?
Yeah, my dad came from Portugal.
And
we've been here since 1969.
You know what I did that summer?
You weren't even born yet, buddy.
I got my first real six string.
Wow.
So your dad...
Did you buy it at a 5 and dime?
Did he buy the business, or did you guys start it?
No,
was it already there?
He bought the building. The building was actually a warehouse. It was empty when he got it, and he basically built it from scratch. He had already functioned, or he already had some customers that used to come to the house, years ago, and they kind of just followed along when we came here, and we've expanded from that point. Basically.
So that's what he did in Portugal then.
My dad started working on car. My dad apprenticed. There was no such thing as mechanical school, back in Portugal.
So you just got hired and learned on the job.
Yeah, he apprenticed from the age of 11.
Jeez.
So wait, doesn't your dad specialize though in a specific?
He didn't. He worked before he came to this country. He worked on every car. When he came here, the job that he got was with Volkswagen. So.
Oh, nice.
He worked for Volkswagen from 1970 through 95, I guess.
And then naturally that just became his go-to.
So you get right, exactly. I mean,
he could fix anything but Volkswagen.
Correct.
That's
we work on at Division Street.
I know, man. I've brought you a few pieces. I probably brought you 6-7 brands of vehicles myself. Yeah. I always know I'll bring my car to George, and I know that I'm in big trouble when he goes, so here's the thing. That's when I know I'm getting bad news.
I'm definitely the bearer of bad news. Sometimes I feel that way.
Then he asked me how much I have set aside for a new car, and I'm like, well, that's not what I wanted to hear right now. So that's cool. And now, how old were you when you came from Portugal? Do you remember living there? Or?
No, I was. Well, I do because we moved back in early teens, but.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
I came here when I was very young. I was a year and a half
old. Oh, gotcha. So
I've pretty much lived here my entire life. Wow. You know what I mean?
Do you ever go back there?
What? I went back there after 9th grade. So how old are you in 9th grade?
14?
Yeah, 14. So about 14, we moved back for 2 years. My parents went out there to build a house. And
I was like 20 for the whole grade.
Now, when you guys went back... when you guys went back to Portugal, was the plan to just... stay for a year and then come back, or did you guys think you were staying permanently?
I think that they thought they were staying permanently. I think when I went there, when they broke the news to me that we were moving back to Portugal and I was 14,
that's gonna be
I was
tough.
like, look, I don't care. Come hell or high water, I'm coming back here when I turn 16 because I'm going to get my driver's license.
Right. And that's ultimately, was that your first time going to Portugal since you've been here?
No, I had been there on vacation. I mean, but it's back then especially, it was a huge culture shock because
I can imagine
they were.
So it's not like Jersey.
It's not like Jersey. I don't want to say they were probably like a second world country. I mean, if the United States is first world problems and
Ghana is third world.
Yeah, right.
So it's somewhere in between.
At the time, it was somewhere in between because they were under a dictatorship. So the guy kind of kept.
You know what? And that's
flies aren't landing on your eyeballs, but there might be some bugs everywhere.
Correct.
Right. It's not exactly America, but it's not Sudan.
Right. Exactly. Right.
But you know what's crazy is that most people would never know. You say dictatorship and these different styles of government
You think of North Korea?
No, I'm just saying most people haven't a clue, like what you're talking about, because they have we live in America and this is the way it should be. Yeah. This is the way it always is, and they haven't experienced anything else other than a democracy. You know,
and we're all very, very lucky just to be born on this patch of dirt. Ultimately, what it is, it's an imaginary line. But I think your story with your dad and coming here and. Because they're not American, right? Their parents straight, from Portugal.
100%. Even I was born in Portugal. My daughter is my first generation American.
So was there a reason for coming here to?
Absolutely. The reason for coming here is the same reason probably 99% of the people that come to this country is the opportunity to move forward.
Right.
You know what I mean? Regardless of where people say, oh, we're not the best country in the world. You know what?
We are.
You can probably give me examples of one particular individual example that. May be better in healthcare, or maybe better in pay, or maybe better in vacation, whatever.
They're smarter in math.
Right, exactly. But I think that overall, the United States has got it over.
Yeah, and I think it's not even close. I don't think it's close. It's definitely
probably
one of
the second closest I would have to say is maybe Canada.
And it's Canada doesn't even have free speech. We were doing a podcast in Canada, and we said something along the lines like, hey, this human rights movement is fucking crazy. We could get fined for that as hate speech. You can get fined for. They have no freedom of speech. They don't have a First Amendment.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Which is, I told you, chill out, man. Don't smoke so much pot before we do this. Hey. So, but I think that story is pretty cool because it's not. I mean, I know a lot of immigrants. Growing up in Pawtucket is pretty diverse, and a lot of my friends from other countries, some legally and some illegally. Like you, I see the hours that you put in. And then I see the work you do even when you're not at the shop. But some of the hardest working people I know, are immigrants, which why I think this whole wall shit can get a little crazy sometimes. And people feeling that just because we were born, you have no control where you were born. I didn't say, hey, I want to be born in America. I made the right choice. We all just got super fucking lucky. And for us to have this weird, entitlement and sense that, our lives are more valuable than somebody else's lives just because we were born here and not there. Where, they could be fleeing some situation that we couldn't even make it through.
I definitely agree with that.
So I don't know. It's a crazy thing, man, and there are a lot of different takes on it, and it can get tough to look at it empathetic, but also sensibly, because obviously we can't just let every single person that wants to come in. Because if you dropped a baby at my doorstep, would I help it and take care of it? Of course I would. But if 35 babies came walking through not babies, but toddlers. Were walking through my door saying, you need to take care of us all, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here, guys. I can't. Yep. I can't. It's not feasible. It's not realistic. We'll die trying to do that.
Unless you're Michael Jackson. He would love all them.
I feel like we're done, though. I think we touched on everything today, guys.
All right, let's wrap it up. See you later. Thanks for having me, man.
Isn't it crazy that you'll still get those Michael Jackson defenders? People that love his music so much, they're like...
I'm a Michael Jackson defender.
Oh, I know. We've had that conversation before. And there's so much evidence, man. He obviously molested little kids, and people will just.
Oh man, that's such a bold statement.
No, it's not, dude. Man, you got to watch the documentaries. There's too much evidence.
I don't know about that.
Oh, we got another MJ fan.
Before we get into that topic, though, let's bring it back to what you said.
He was a pretty smooth criminal, I'll tell you that.
That's true. And she did say you had a smooth voice.
Yeah, but Billy was only 7, so I don't know why he touched Billy's jeans.
You are crazy, dude. You are crazy. I understand a wall's a barrier, but I also believe if our federal government, if America's government really wanted to control and take a hold of immigration, that whole thing, they could. They just don't because they're too fucking stupid and too lazy.
Right.
A wall that's so basic. It's so...
Yeah, but I mean,
let's put up a wall.
Here's how I look at it. I feel like
this is America. Let's put up some fucking missiles and I don't know if you really want to do it, a wall.
Well, I mean, look at it this way: are there any people that sneak into America from Mexico just by running through fields and hiding and
Of course,
a wall would stop that.
I don't think that you're going to stop, and I don't think that that's enough of the.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. I don't really.
But that's what we came up with. Of all things in the world,
what do you want? You want a fucking moat around the country with alligators, dude?
We're landing on the other side of the moon,
an electric dog fence.
Yeah,
an invisible force field like Wakanda and Black Panther. They just
exactly. I don't know. Put something over there. Somebody was like, "Hey, why don't we put up a sign?"
How about
that's what you came up with? That's Trump supporters. They're like, "Yeah, sign."
How about a big, like a big fucking plexiglass that you can't see? So all these refugees are like those birds that fly into the window. Bang on, Maria, bitch.
But I don't know. I don't see, like, again, like, I am a Trump supporter, and I agree with obviously a lot of the good things that he's done for the country.
You know, it's crazy, man, because again, I feel like most people that you talk to, like most of our friends and most of the people you just associate with on a daily basis, are pretty realistic about what they want. You know, we might agree slightly on things that are, but I don't think, you know, like for example, human rights, whether, you know, you're straight, gay, I think everybody wants people to be treated like humans and be fair and equal. You know, I don't know anybody that says, well, gay people shouldn't have rights like us. You know, even my Trump supporter friends, you know, like I don't know anybody that feels that way. But I think where we differ is when somebody tries to force me to forget about the science that I know. You know, like don't try to force me to use words that you're making up. You know, like he or she. You know, like if I slip up and call you a he when you want to be called a she, don't try to cut my throat for that. You know, don't try to have me thrown in jail. Don't accuse me of using hate speech and being transphobic. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Like, I know you as a man. You know, I've known you for a man 30 years, and now you're trying to have me defy science.
I mean, you know what? I used
Isn't that the double standard, too, of intolerance from their end?
Whose end?
It's intolerance, right? From their end.
From their end.
Who's there?
There.
From
I don't know the right pronouns.
LBG.
No, you talking about transgenders. Like, from their perspective.
They.
From them.
From that kind. Not those people. From those people.
I used to work retail in a department store, and this person came in, obviously transgender person came in.
Male or female?
Male who wanted to be a female.
Right.
Okay, so I mean, she was dressed as a woman. However, I mean, you could clearly see that this was a man.
You can clearly see his dick.
No.
It's like,
No, dude,
no, it was a man.
I mean, he was obviously still in the earlier stages
tell me
of
don't make his man
transformation.
pussy.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's bad.
Go ahead.
Anyway,
Sorry,
when she was cashing out, I said, "Thank you, sir," or something, and of course she flipped out and is like,
Really?
"There's no sir here," blah blah blah. You know, on me, right? And I was like,
was that you in the video? Like, that's the same exact video.
Yeah, that
Really?
what's going
No,
on
it
now?
wasn't me in the video.
It's like,
but
it's ma'am.
it's ma'am. Yeah, you know what? I corrected it. You know what I mean at the time, and this is going back.
Yeah, but in like 20 years or whatever the case is, 10 years, and I think that shows you it's like most
This was
people.
probably 20 years ago, man.
Yeah, and most of us will just be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. Like, I didn't mean to offend you. It was a mistake. You have an Adam's apple. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right,
Like,
exactly,
fucking,
right.
I was about to ask you for beard advice. Like, chill out. Give me a break. I tend that.
What kind of?
It's horrible, man.
I tend that. You know, when that happens to me a lot, and I always feel like a douchebag is like when I'm ordering coffee, and it's like a really deep voice talking to me. You know, all right, drive up. All right, thank you, sir. Then you get to the window and it's a woman. You're like, oh shit.
No, that happens to me all the
shit.
time.
And then you're like, oh, maybe it's a different person. And then she's like, here you go. You're like, oh, it's definitely her. I just called the sir.
I thought it was a high pitched. I thought it was a female. We get up to the window. It was a male that looked like, what's his name? Groot from
Groot from
No, not Groot. Despicable Me.
Yeah, Groot. Did I say
what's
Groot?
his name?
Groot. GRU.
Yeah,
Groot.
Groot. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's Groot. No, yeah, Groot. Looked exactly like him. But had this.
Like
Hi, how you doing?
Like the
I'm like,
penguin.
what are you, fucking Mickey Mouse? Like, thank you. Have a good day. It was so funny. Oh man, we totally went off topic. We went from
Not really, I mean.
There's a topic?
well, no, we went from George's
No,
story
man.
and
It's not
Division
fun.
Street
Talk
Auto.
about whatever we want to talk about. Well, they employ, you know, never mind. It's gonna make it. It's gonna be like it's nothing but trannies working there. Get it?
Get it?
Come on, I thought that was gold.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, that's cool.
His life going on.
We know that you do some. You have a nighttime job. You're an evening entertainer. What's going on with that?
You're a Chippendale?
I am a Chippendale dancer. That's just not a pair of socks in my pants.
Jesus Christ.
No, yeah, I do some karaoke, DJing.
Nice. What's it called? What's your DJ name or the DJ promotion?
The company is, let's say the company. Sure.
Yeah,
Company
I mean,
name
it is
is
a company.
Just for Fun Karaoke.
Oh shit.
Find us on Facebook.
There you go.
And
Nice.
just kind of getting started off the ground. But I think we're doing okay.
What obviously, it goes without saying you have fun doing karaoke. But what was it really like? Was there any specific instant or anything? What made you decide, hey, I don't want to just, go out and sing karaoke anymore. I'm going to do it myself?
Bills.
Bills.
No, you know what? It's not about.
I have so many friends that can't sing. How can I get paid?
Yeah, right. You know what? It's not about the money at this stage in the game because.
No, it's a night out. It's fun.
It's a night out. It's fun, and every place I ever go anywhere to sing karaoke, it's like maybe you get a couple of songs in because there are people there, and I figured, hey, you know what? I mean, this is not hard. You buy a laptop, you buy the music, boom, you're in business.
Yeah.
And I thought, at first, as you're well aware of, I just set it up in my house, and it was fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, so you do house parties too, or like that kind of?
Yeah.
Oh, pretty much everything.
I can say firsthand, man. I've been to a few of George's house karaoke parties, and it's a blast. It's so much fun.
It's a great time, yeah.
But I didn't know if was there a specific incident, or you just said sometimes you had to wait too long.
It's that's basically what it came down to. Is whenever you went somewhere for karaoke, you get into a rotation, you might have to wait 45 minutes before your second song.
Yeah, and you kind of lose that vibe.
And you lose the vibe, right? And the
thing
is too.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The thing is too is like sometimes you may want to do a particular kind of genre that may not fit at the bar.
Genre.
That's right.
That not fit where you're being. Where you're at,
like when you're in the hood in Pawtucket and you want to
sing a country song, listen to Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks is the man. What are you talking
I
about?
like Garth Brooks, man. I am not ashamed to say that I'm a country fan at all.
That's cool, man. So started out in your house and.
Country's been
a year
for a long time.
A year ago, it'll be a year, let's say, in February for Valentine's Day will be the first time I ever sang in public.
Wow.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, you'd never know, man, because you went from never singing in public.
You must have been nervous
to singing at a bar.
It came down. It was Michelle's fault. It was Michelle's fault. She was like, "Look, for Valentine's Day." Michelle is this chick I know once in a while. I've seen her around. And she said, "Look, for Valentine's Day, I want you to." And
it's a great thing.
Yes. Say no, leave it in there. I want you to sing me a song, and she made me do it. And before that, time last year you told me it was, I don't know, I don't even remember, dude.
What?
Yeah,
Friends in Little Places.
Yeah, sure. It was definitely a Valentine's Day kind of song, whatever she wanted me to sing. It might even have been like. It might have been like Sonny and Cher, I've got you, babe. Yeah.
I've got you, babe.
There you go. Before your time, but you know it.
Yeah.
That's a classic karaoke song.
Right, exactly right. And that was probably the first time, and then after that, I was like, wow, I can do this, And
it's fun, man. I mean,
and I just went up from there, basically.
So how many nights do you book, like, a month now, a week, or whatever? Is it just steady right now? You're still trying to get out there?
Yeah, I'm still trying to get out there. I mean, I have LaFoyer in Pawtucket uses me probably just once a month, maybe. Or
Shout out to LaFoyer.
Shout out to LaFoyer, absolutely.
Dave.
If anybody didn't know, Pawtucket is a small city in Rhode Island. For all of our national listeners.
That's right.
For all the two people on the...
For our
Dave, you owe me 200 for that plug. That advertising plug.
Sorry, Dave. Just take that off the wedding tab.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
All right, so that's cool. So then you started doing it at the house and got your own... So you just went out and bought your own equipment, or...
Yeah. I was actually... I bought the equipment just thinking I was going to set it up in my house, and then... Which I did, right, exactly. Which I kind of played with it before I went out in public, and then the first time I went out in public, it just happened,
Aren't there laws against that?
Yeah, you do have to pay. It's not as easy as that. You do have to pay the, I don't remember the name of it, this acronym for...
Wait.
Oh, I was actually...
You have to pay who? I thought you were kidding. Who do you have to pay?
No, I was kidding. I was talking about
to get speakers and play music in your house?
Not in your house, but if you're going to go out and do it for money, you do. You have to pay. First of all, the venue that you go to pays for what they call live entertainment, because they consider it live entertainment. And then me, the software that I have, I pay a percentage of whatever to the artist, so the artist gets paid for the music.
So you don't pay per month for the software?
No, you buy the
rights to the music.
You buy the rights to the song, basically, right? Exactly.
exactly.
Now, do you have to pay?
Man, I didn't know it was that involved.
I didn't either. I would assume that you had the software with access to the music for X amount per month, or
No, you can do that. There's a couple of companies that do that.
you
It's
probably
kinda
don't use it enough for that. To
right,
make sense.
exactly. For me, it's not worth it.
If you start doing
pretty
it
much
weekly or twice a week, then
I pretty much have to have the backup for all the songs that I have.
Interesting. But when
That's
I
interesting.
said
I would
isn't there
never
laws against that, I was talking about when he was saying you got to play with it before you go out in public.
oh,
I'm like, aren't there laws against
I'm
that?
sorry about that. Yeah, I thought we were past that stage.
That's
Nice,
cool.
nice.
Yeah.
So you said that something that you didn't like was how long you had to wait for sometimes when trying to get your name on a list to sing again. So you went and started your own. How do you like? How will you deal with that? Like, you know, if you have a ton of people that want to, how can you kind of adapt, I guess, and make sure people aren't leaving because they have to wait so long, or you just screwed? Like, what else can you do?
I mean, eventually you get to a number where you're screwed.
Yeah.
Basically, what it comes down to. I mean, eventually you get to a number. Like I was at a place, a friend of mine was DJing, and he had something in the neighborhood of like 22 singers or something like that.
Wow.
And that's
think-
when you
you
think
think
about the
3
average
minutes a
song,
song,
right?
that's
The
an hour,
average
3
song is
minutes.
about 3 to 4 minutes.
That's an
So
hour.
if you have 20 people ahead of you,
That's an hour.
you're waiting a long time before
1
you sing
hour.
the next song. Yeah, an hour, right? Exactly.
We get it, Josh. You
I
know
know
the math.
math.
You did the math.
I did the math,
Josh,
guys.
you did the math right there.
What's 3 times 20, guys? 1 hour. And that's just for fun karaoke. Cool. So later on, we'll tell everybody where they can go to find that, when the next time he's playing is, and let George know that you heard him on the J Squared podcast.
Yeah, come check it out. Hey, my name was originally with a J. Can we make it like
The Jorge Squared podcast.
Yeah.
J Cubed.
Can we do like J? What is it when it's to the third power?
Cubed?
Cubed. Yeah, like Ice Cube.
I guess I'm invisible.
Did you say that?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I know my math, guys. I know my math.
It's true.
I'm an expert in geography. Wait, what? Geometry. Trigonometry. Pornography. All right. In New York, guys, they just passed, I don't know if they passed a law or the law was already passed, and now it's official that when you have a baby in the hospital, the birth certificate gives you the option under gender to check off X, as in not male, not female.
It's bullshit.
I saw one argument for it today that I'm not going to say it made sense, but it made it a little more, like, easier to take.
If you just look at it for face value,
Knee-jerk reaction is fucking crazy, man. It's crazy.
the being, whether it be boy or girl, just doesn't want to identify with what everybody says. You know, like
Yeah, but now you're kind of making the decision for
So
that
is
baby.
it boy or girl, or is it male or female?
Male, female? Because you're right. Those are two very
I mean,
different
as
things.
far as I know,
Boy
you can
and
only
girl
pick two.
is a
There's
social
only two different
construct, right?
sexes.
I feel like when you say boy and girl,
no. What
I
they're
associate them-
associated with
right.
is a social construct.
yeah, you're right. Because the literal term is just male and female, right?
Right.
But I think male and female is more scientific.
And here's what the
And
left
I
is
think
saying.
that's what's on a birth certificate. Male, it says gender. It doesn't say sex, does it? I don't know.
The left is trying to educate the right to some degree to say, hey, look, we're saying that gender is separate from your biological sex,
Which is okay.
your gender identity, right?
Which is okay. I can accept
Where the
that.
right is always looking at the left going, what do you mean it's all the same?
But, well, because there are some
they're defining
there's
it
extremes on
differently,
each side.
I think.
I think most people agree with that. Like, most people agree that if you feel like a girl, you feel like a girl. If you feel like a guy, you feel like a guy. It is what it is. Nobody gives a shit. But you can't separate them entirely and say that, male and female doesn't exist. Because it does. Hey, Beth.
Well, obvious. I mean, that's just delusional to say it doesn't.
But I think that's the extreme on the left. Where I think the
Right.
extreme on the right is it's like, no, there's man and woman, that's it. It doesn't matter how you feel. Because, no, there's some gray
That is
area.
it, though.
Yeah, but
Biologically.
it doesn't matter how you feel. There are
Whether you're left or right,
whether it's a
that's not
condition,
good.
whether it's a mental condition or an emotional condition, a physical condition, whatever the case is, like I don't know what to compare to, but just for the sake of the argument, compare it to like dementia.
Right.
That really alters the state of your brain and how you act and how you interact with people.
Right.
But it's a real condition. So I feel like having a gender identity crisis, whether we take it seriously or not, they do exist. They're out there, and I feel like the far right wants to just slap on the
Erase
wrist
it.
and say, "Toughen up, act like a boy," or "Hey,
Right.
act like a girl, stop acting like a guy."
What you're saying right there, people shouldn't. I don't think that I can dictate to you whether you act like a boy,
Right.
in quotes, or act like a girl, in quotes. But I think that if I'm filling out a form, and you're filling it out for your doctor to know if you're a male or female, you can't tell them, well, I'm a man, but I feel like a girl. You either have a penis and testicles, or you don't. So,
all right, what's the next topic? Moving right along.
Right?
Thank you, George Ferreira.
Physically, what you look like. You either are a guy or you're not a guy. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
But like you said, if you're going out shopping and you want me to address you as ma'am, all right, cool. Like, if you put on a dress and, want to be referred to as a woman, I can do that for you. But like you said, man, like if...
When push
when
comes
it
to shove, on my
and we're
birth
asking for
certificate
the-
it's going to say male, and on my
when
death certificate it's going to say male. You know what I mean? And then what you call me in the middle is...
Right.
I respect people.
I respect that idea a lot.
I respect people as beings, and I always say I have I have a general love just for beings. Like whatever, you're still a human. I give you that much respect. But when it comes to the whole trans gender and the pronouns and blah 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 blah, I'm not playing that delusional game. I love everybody. I don't give a fuck what they think they are. They can be a zebra. They can be a fucking woman, a male. I don't give a shit. Whatever.
A zebra joke today?
I respect people for people and just their being. But with that being said, I do not want to play the whole deceitful game and all what I consider very delusional. I'm not doing all that. I'll still respect you as a person, as a being. Obviously, I'll still help you. I'll still, if you're in need, whatever. I'm not playing by your little game rules and all that shit. Don't ask me to be delusional with you.
I can get that, and so I've always kind of looked at it like you chalk this up to we're making decisions and giving people a lot of leeway based on their reality, right? Their feelings. And I try to think, if I had a family member, or if you had a family member, and this person was in their kitchen talking to their oven, just being delusional and talking to the oven, having a conversation with it, and then telling you that, and they believe their oven is their best friend, and at night it comes alive and it talks to them. If that was your son or your daughter doing that, how do you think you would handle that?
I'd kill him.
No, I'm being serious. How would you? How?
I think that you would have to have that person seek help. Depending.
Obviously, yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that person needs help.
But now, what if that, in their reality, that oven isn't threatening them, it's not hurting anybody, but, it's their best friend?
Well, here's the thing. If they
But that's
get
not the point.
diagnosed as having a mental illness, and that's what, if the doctor says, hey, look, this guy's always going to talk to his oven, he's always going to think it's his best friend, and he's never going to hurt himself, and he's never going to hurt anybody else, I don't care if the guy talks to the oven all day long.
As we're talking to metal microphones.
Right, exactly. Mine's plastic. How come I got plastic?
So I don't know. That's just always kind of how I would compare the two. Because we're looking at it and we know that scientifically, it's not possible that oven is responding to you and showing you any type of affection. It's just not true. There's no factual evidence.
So are you
supporting
trying to say that somebody that is transgender is
An oven.
No, that it could be.
You think they just
It seems like
delusional?
there's obviously a condition, with, I'm assuming, something either mentally or hormonally or whatever the case is. I was just wondering, do you treat it like you said? You would have them seek help for the oven, or for talking to the oven. In this case, do you go and treat it and try to correct that if there is something wrong, or do you just say, well, hey, nobody's hurting anybody, let's let it go?
Let me take the conversation really fast, and I appreciate your point, what you just said, but let me take it like a sidestep. I think when we're talking about all this stuff, you have to ask yourself what really defines us, like the being, ourselves. Is it our mind that defines who we are, or is it our flesh? Does that make sense?
No, we're stupid.
Okay.
Keep going.
No, we don't know anything that you're talking about.
What's flesh?
So, your mind could be, I feel like a boy. Your flesh, you could look like a woman.
When you say I feel like a boy, what does a boy feel like?
That's a weird question.
That's where I think smooth, a little hairy. No, but
non-combative.
So So,
Okay.
but no, it's in all seriousness. I mean, because you say that, like, oh, you feel like a boy, but I think that's when you're getting into the social construct of it. Because if you had to say, like, what does a boy feel like? How does a boy feel?
Well,
It doesn't matter. Does it really
aren't
matter?
you a little boy?
I'm asking for your
Oh,
opinion on it. I want to hear your opinion because you said, you gave your speech about your beings, and what did you say? Is it our tissue?
What?
You said, is it our physical?
Does our flesh
is our
define
flesh?
us?
Yeah, not tissue.
Or does
flesh.
our being, our soul, or whatever you want to call it?
I think
does that define us? Our
well,
mind?
I think that your flesh defines you. Well,
Right.
that's not even correct too, because you can actually change what you have. You know what I'm saying? But here's
It's
the
a
thing.
good question.
Here's the
It's
thing.
a good-
If you
It's
have,
a tough one to answer.
if your cat has kittens,
Right.
it's going to have male kittens or it's going to have female kittens. It's not going to have.
Hermaphroditic kittens.
None of those kittens are going to have an identity crisis.
That's exactly
So
right. They're
here's
not
where
gonna
it
have
gets
an
real-
identity crisis. I
It
think
gets
it's in
fuzzy to
people's
me.
brains.
It gets fuzzy to me because
Fuzzy.
I think
It's fuzzy bear.
I think a lot of the argument is that hey, we need to stop teaching that there are girl things and boy things because
I don't believe that. For a second.
well, hold on a second, because that reinforces these gender stereotypes. So the foundation to that argument would be that there shouldn't be gender stereotypes, and whether you're a boy or a girl, you should be able to do whatever you want. And they're all taught that you're not born liking football, you're not born liking dolls. That's something that's taught to you.
Right.
But if that's the case, then why is there ever the need to change your appearance, and go through that surgery to turn into a woman or to turn into a man? If there's really no correct way for a girl to act or correct way for a guy to act, and your gender doesn't define, or your genitalia doesn't define your gender, why is there ever a reason to change it?
I don't know. I'm high.
I don't care.
Please.
I don't care that if you want to go play with your easy bake oven, I have absolutely no problem with
Right.
that. You know what I mean? But do you think that toys are learned? Like, do you think that kids learn that girls have to play with dolls?
I bet, yeah. I mean, it's
You
on.
think so?
Think of every, it's TV shows. And it's not even like a conscious teaching thing. I think it's so ingrained in our roots that, like, if you have a little girl, the little girl doesn't come out and one day decide, hey, I really like the color pink. It's because when she was a baby, all her newborn clothes were pink, and the walls were pink, and the bows in her hair were pink. And she had a little Barbie doll to play with. It wasn't a football that she was rolling around.
It's taught.
I think it's definitely taught. I'll agree with that.
Absolutely.
But
a baby doesn't know the difference.
Yeah,
between
but
pink
I
and
don't
blue.
think there's wrong with
No, I understand
having
that they don't have
traditions.
different-
I don't
okay,
think
but the
there's.
thing is, at what point? So, at what point do you think, if you are gay or if you're lesbian or whatever the case may be, at what point in your life
I'm not mature
you
enough for
make-
this conversation.
do you make the decision? I mean, you know what I mean? I think that's
That's
gotta be
actually,
something.
you know what?
Is it a decision or is it like rooted in your DNA? You know what I mean?
This one's tricky, and I feel like that. I apologize to anybody that we offend, and I feel like this could be some offensive ideas that we have on this. And so far, I don't think I'm gay. And
You don't. What?
so I can't
Dude, are you
really.
coming out? Like,
I
did have a coming out party.
So
that was weird.
guys, George just left us. So I can't say whether it's a decision or not a decision. I mean, the ignorance in me says it's a decision because I know how I feel, and the way that I feel is the only thing that I know. So to me, it's just like any other feelings about women and men sexually are unnatural to me. But then logically, up until very, very recently, I'm pretty sure it was difficult to be gay. You face a lot of scrutiny. It's tough for me to think that somebody would decide to go through that. Especially in high school and junior high, probably one of the toughest times, as a young person growing up, going through puberty and between bullying and fitting in socially, to decide that you want to be gay. Because, okay, you might say people are doing it for attention, but some people, end up getting really...
Nobody changes
You
their
never,
life.
I don't
for
know, man.
attention,
That could be an
I
argument.
asked the question: who gives a fuck whether it's a choice or
Yeah.
whether they're? Who cares?
But that wasn't the
What does
question.
that even have to do with
That wasn't
anything?
the question that he asked, though. He asked if it, if you thought it was a decision or if
Oh
you're
no,
going
I'm
that way.
speaking in just in general. Like,
Yeah, I know.
in generality.
I just
I'm not
like
saying
to-
you brought that up already. You brought
Yeah,
it
no, I know. Answering that question it's good because there are a lot of different ideas on it. Obviously, none of us care. We all have
Well, it
without
seems to be
queer
like
friends.
it's split. Like there's half of the people believe that it's a decision, half the people believe that it don't, and it's like,
What do you
is
believe?
that really the? You know what?
You're afraid to answer that question?
No, I go back and forth. No pun intended.
You go back and forth. Sometimes I decide, sometimes I don't.
Sometimes I pitch, sometimes I no, I don't. Anyway, I love women too much, but no. So I just like with any debate, I go back and forth, totally way off base, and then I'll say something. But like for the most part, I go back and forth with tons of topics. And
Listen,
that's one of
we're
them.
such a bunch of like ignorant idiots talking about gay and what makes you gay and how gay.
It's
people
kind of like
feel
asking, hey,
inside.
what makes you like chocolate? I don't fucking know.
I think that's very. I think that's.
I was fucking born that way.
You were born that way, right? So was it a decision?
I don't know. Like,
What do you think?
who the fuck cares? You know?
What do you think? At what point are you gay? Is it when you start thinking about other men sexually, or is it when you have sex with another man, or is it when you have like an emotional connection to another man? Any one of the three?
With
All three? We need to get one of our gay friends on the show so we don't sound like a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, we actually talked about that. Sort of like, you know, I made the argument, you're not a smoker unless you smoke cigarettes. You're not an alcoholic unless you drink.
Right, but are you a smoker at the first cigarette you ever have? Or are you a smoker at the first pack you ever have? Or are you a smoker at the first carton you ever have?
You have to smoke. Isn't
Okay,
that the definition? Right?
Okay, so you would say that at the first cigarette that
You're a
person
smoker.
is a smoker.
Absolutely.
So
I mean,
the first
well,
time,
how-
Josh, your
think-
first time.
But think about this. How
I've never
else
smoked a cigarette.
would you define it? What would define a smoker then if not that you smoke a cigarette?
So, looking at me now
Yeah.
and knowing me,
Yeah.
at one point in my life, I did athletic things. Would you call me an athlete?
Well, no, you have to be doing it.
Currently. So
Yeah.
the second that smoker puts down that cigarette, they're no longer a smoker.
Until
Exactly.
he
Until
lights
the-
the next one he lights.
So gay,
Well,
so gay
yeah.
people are only gay when they, so you're not heterosexual right now.
oh no,
'Cause you're not having
that's
sex
not where I
with
was
a
going
woman.
with it. That's not where I was
Where
going.
the fuck you going with it?
We were defining, you know, what it actually is. You were asking like, when does somebody actually feel gay? And I made the argument that you have to act on it to actually be
No,
to be
I
gay.
don't believe that.
Well, hold on a second. Before, I also agree with you.
So you're
Strangely
going back
enough,
and forth.
yes, back and forth. So, in your mind, let's say you never acted on it. Let's say you have never, ever acted on your homosexual thoughts.
What's that like?
Are you gay? Tell us, Josh. No,
So-
seriously.
Here's the thing. What you have to do with these thoughts is suppress them.
Start a podcast. So it's like, I mean, it's a difficult subject. I mean, obviously, again, if I ask you, you know, well, what makes you like Blue Moon beer? You know, or
I don't like it.
that's another $3,000 for that plug.
Blue moon.
All right, yeah, fuck that. Fuck that subject. It's too deep, man.
All right, let's talk about something lighter.
Yeah, it is a little deep.
And shout out to all our gay friends. I have gay family. I love you guys. I don't give a fuck.
I have lots of gay friends.
Marijuana legalization in Rhode Island.
Absolutely, can't wait.
Yeah.
What's the deal? I must have missed that news. Marijuana is being
No, it's still
legalized
being,
in
you
Rhode
know,
Island.
talked
I mean,
about.
it's inevitable. That's
can't
probably
imagine
one of
it's
the
not.
craziest things and most obvious pieces of news that just shows you how corrupt the government is.
They're a bunch of fucking scumbags, man.
That's incredible. Like think that any kind of natural plant that you can grow and make for yourself or whatever to make that illegal.
Yeah,
I
but
know.
they
I
do
love
things
cocaine.
like that all the time. Look at prohibition.
I know.
And they made alcohol illegal. I mean,
Yeah.
you could technically make your own wine at home, make your own beer at home. So I mean, like, where do you draw the line? I mean, it's
I don't think the government should ever be involved in stuff that has to do with, you know, with choices about yourself. Like forcing you to wear a seatbelt. If you don't want to wear a seatbelt,
Well, I think that's like that particular one, the
No.
seatbelt rule, is kind of retarded because if I sit in my car where I'm in a metal object protected on all sides, I must wear a seatbelt. However, I can jump on my motorcycle without a helmet and drive 100 miles an hour on the
Right.
highway. That's perfectly fine.
But
You
I
no
know?
seatbelts on the motorcycles.
some of them do. No. I do agree with Jay though. I think that when you're an adult, when you're a consenting adult, you should be able to do anything you want. If it's risking yourself, you know, the government shouldn't interject. To take it to the extreme, I think suicide should be legal. If you're a consenting adult and you don't want to live anymore, the government shouldn't be able to force you to live.
Well, no, let's think about that for a second.
I don't know if I agree with that.
What if you're, in your case right now, you have 2 young boys. If you can decide to just, hey, fuck them and kill yourself?
But if I'm in such a place mentally where I'm ready to kill myself, I'm probably not being the best provider for them anyways.
All right,
I know, but so fuck it.
You're
depressing me, man.
Well, it's just something that I think, at what point, like, why should the government force you to live? If I have every single day, if every single day I'm in excruciating pain, due to some medical illness, and every day is unbearable and it's torturous and not a second of my day is enjoyable, why should the government force me to stay alive? I should be able to choose if I'm ready to die at that point. In some states you can, I think every state should be.
I mean, in that particular situation that you just happen to spell out there, I'm not 100% against. However, that being said, I think that you would have to have something that's terminal, number one. Number two, the thing with when I talk about suicide, I'm not necessarily thinking about the guy that's in pain and not going to make it another 6 months or whatever the case may be. I'm thinking about the guy that is depressed because his girlfriend just walked out on him, or his wife walked out on him, or he found out some bad news and he thinks that he's going to jump off a bridge. Someone explained it to me one time: is think of suicide as a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Yeah, I've heard.
You know what I mean? If your girlfriend breaks up with you today, and you're depressed, and you think that you want to commit suicide, there's always tomorrow. I mean, this
like, oh shit, who's gonna wash my dishes?
What?
No, I think you're 100% right, and I should have specified that.
Dishwasher.
Yeah, no, I should have specified that. It's like, of course, like being signed off on by a doctor.
You're talking about like Dr. Kevorkian assisted.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm just talking about like if you're competent enough to like make decisions where.
Where's the line to competent adult?
I don't think anything good comes out
doctor,
of that.
A psychiatrist signing off on that.
What good comes out of that?
No more suffering, dude. You're not suffering anymore. I think it would be selfish of you. You're basically saying you'd rather them be in pain than you be in the pain of missing.
Can we talk about something a little more positive?
Oh, we can. I mean, but if you spew out an opinion on it, you know what I mean? Like, we're going to talk about it.
Well, I agree with you, actually. Again, just like everything, I can argue both sides. I can see why somebody would think it's selfish.
Yeah, we
I can see why somebody would be like, dude, that's not selfish. It's somebody that's tortured and needs to...
Yeah. Because I think ultimately we always have something that we believe in, but I think ultimately we still have a side that we agree with. And I think it's sometimes important to express that and vocalize it. Because sometimes if somebody challenges what you believe in, now we put up a wall and it's more defensive than actually being open-minded and listening to the other side. Because, I mean, if you could give me a reason where if I have a terminal illness and I'm suffering every day, why I shouldn't be able to end my suffering, I'd be open to hearing it.
What if kids depend on you? That's not fair.
Again, I'm bedridden. I'm terminally illness.
Yeah. What he's saying is you have no shot. You're basically just prolonging the inevitable.
Oh, you said, yeah, that's right. You said terminal illness. Yeah, I'm not even thinking about that part. Yeah. I'm thinking of you taking a shotgun to your head.
That's what I'm saying. I would never look at that as selfish. I'd look at that as...
actually, but you really can decide your own fate. You can sign DNRs, do not resuscitate. So even if like something bad, like let's say it's
that's
not
after you died. It's a very different thing than assisted suicide.
It's like if you have a heart attack, they won't resuscitate you.
Right, but I'm talking about right now. Like I will still, like I'm alive and breathing, and I tell the doctor, "Hey, give me that shot that ends it." Because I'm done with this. It hurts too much. You should be able to make that decision.
I mean, I suppose that there are probably
situations
where I would think, sure. I think that there are other situations where I think that people are it's easier to take the easy way out.
But then again, wait, is it illegal to kill yourself?
Yes.
It is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you go to jail if you do it.
Did you just hear what
you have to pay the fine?
No, it is though. It's funny because if you succeed, you can't be charged. No, I heard what I said.
I was going to say, you missed that.
So we got to that from just talking about weed and how stupid it is that weed is illegal. Yeah, and especially just I try to think about it in its most basic state. Like there are people human beings that are locked in cages right now for smoking a plant that makes them feel better. You know what I mean? Never mind that it doesn't really have any negative repercussions on your body.
Well, I think that that's the biggest problem that people have with it, with like the older generation, like maybe my parents' age. I think that they have
They
a
were
very
programmed.
hard time to. They were programmed, exactly right. They were programmed. They've been told since day one how evil it is. It's worse than cocaine. It's
It
this. It's
causes
that.
this.
Yeah, right. It's gonna lead to other things, and they've just been programmed that.
Do you know what started all that anti-weed propaganda? Like what, where that even started from?
I think it was the hemp paper or something like
That's
that.
exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Pull it up on your phone real quick.
Fuck you.
No, it was. I'm almost certain it was there. There was a paper company. I can't think of that motherfucker's name. Just put paper company, anti-weed paper company.
Right.
And it was a paper company, and the owner, he printed for the newspapers, everything. And he found out that marijuana, the plants could make hemp and could make paper that was a lot cheaper to produce. So obviously that threatened his business. So he started printing because he had the accounts with all the newspapers that he was the paper company. Started printing all this anti-weed and anti-hemp propaganda.
Here's the whole story: the paper industry's silent war on hemp.
Yeah, read it. How long is it? Is it long enough, short enough to read real quick, or?
Well, I think you just explained it. It is kind of
Just pretty a little wordy.
Well, yeah,
It's a little wordy.
it's pretty much the competition, the paper companies. And
Yeah. And the reason that we're at the point we are today with it is all because of that. All because of that bullshit.
Yeah, but isn't that how
Propaganda.
everything in this country is? I mean,
Yeah,
that's
money.
why we're at the situation with healthcare. It's why we're in the situation with.
That's right.
We could pick out 12 different topics probably.
all based off of money.
All based of who can pay somebody else off enough so that they can continue to sell whatever the hell they want to sell or whatever.
Right.
It's true. And it's great. I think it's a beautiful thing that a lot of states and even fucking Canada, countries are realizing that hey, this is outrageous, that this is illegal. And the reasoning that it's illegal is such a slap in the face to all of us as Americans in our education and our just intelligence. Oh, because it's bad for you? What?
No, it's a slap in the face because we need it.
Yeah,
Not all of us, but I'm saying,
we need it, and they're trying to sell us on why it's whatever it is. There's no reason that we shouldn't be allowed. There's so many things that are way worse for you than weed. Cigarettes, dude. Alcohol.
Monsanto.
Ecuadorians.
Sunlight. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
dangerous.
so it's I think that, like I said, man, consenting adults, you should be able to do whatever you want. And even when it comes to drugs, man, I don't think the government should be getting involved in what you do as an adult.
Right.
Like you said, you shouldn't have to wear your seatbelt. They should, dude. If you find some coke or some LSD or some even heroin is the tough one because there's such an epidemic and it's a bad one. But it's as a consenting adult, how's the government getting involved saying you can't do this, you can't use this, you can't do this to your own body.
And it makes you question the 2008 market crash when everybody was losing, families were getting kicked out of their homes, that whole housing crisis, that whole
Right.
big thing. But yet, the government was making sure they had 300,000 to go save the white snowy fucking dovetailed owl. Make sure. it
Yeah,
has a
that's
home.
crazy.
Shit like
It's
that.
whenever it gets to that point, all the other funds should have been extended. You know what I mean? People only start getting kicked out of their house and dying of being starved. That's when all the other money runs out. Taking care of the American people, not even the American, but your people, your humans, has to trump every other budget that you have.
That's not true. That's not how it works. So.
What?
It's not
So-
how it works.
I know that's not how it works, but I think that's how it should work. Before people start becoming unhealthy and dying, that money should be allocated to them.
The problem
that's
is,
bring it to the family level. Sorry to interrupt, but if my budget for feeding my family runs out, but I still have X amount every month to donate to a charity that we donate to.
Right.
It's sorry, Stephen and Carter, those are my kids. You guys can't eat this week because the rest of the money that we did have went to the, donating to fucking the Red Cross or whatever. It's that budget should now turn into an emergency fund to allocate my family what needs to be taken care of. So the fact that it was that bad and we were still
let me propose
donating.
this. Would you still believe that if the long-term effect were negative against the society as a whole?
So the example you used was 300,000 went to where?
I don't know, I'm just making up some kind of stupid fucking animal that they make sure is
All right, so
some endangered species.
No, I can't. It's tough for me to
It's
be
bullshit.
sold. It's tough for me to be sold that having a fund reserved for an endangered species of animal
Yeah.
is more important and more crucial than feeding.
Oh, I
American
agree with
families.
you there. But I'm saying if it was, let's say national security. Let's say it didn't go to, the fucking.
So what you're saying is the good of the many always the
Right.
good of the one.
Right.
Right. So
It's hard not to be selfish.
yeah.
That's true. I agree.
All right, well, thanks for
Thanks
coming,
for
George.
having me, man.
No problem, man. Anytime you want to come back.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We're done.
Bye-bye.
Later.
Thanks.
George,
Thanks, guys.
thanks
Thank
for
you,
coming.
George Ferreira.
And real quick before we go, George, where can people find info on Just for Fun Karaoke?
On Facebook, we have a Facebook page just for fun karaoke in Rhode Island.
Awesome. When's the next time you guys are out?
Right now, my next date is going to be the 25th, January 25th. So
Nice.
it will be at La Foyer in Pawtucket.
January 25th at La Foyer. Go get your sing on. If you need any vehicles maintained or serviced, check them out. Where is it?
In Pawtucket, 595 Division Street.
Division Street Auto Sales.
That's where I go.
All right, guys. Thank you.